Welcome back to Phenomena. I'm not from the South. Welcome back to Phenomena. I'm your host, Mimi Dibbs. This is episode 7 of season 2. Ooh, we're about to wrap up season 2 already. Where has the time gone? Am I right? Pop or no? I haven't seen the season finale of season 3 of Black Lotus. Black Lotus? Whoa. Alternate universe? I was thinking Black Mirror. White Lotus. Don't spoil it for me. But all I keep hearing about season 3 and the finale specifically is pop or no. So excited to see what that's about. Anyway, diving right into Phenomannouncements. This week, I wanted to shout out a mutual of mine on TikTok that I have gotten pretty close to. His name is Sean. He's really cool, and he draws really cool spooky stuff. And he also has a podcast called Mostly Horror Podcast, which is actually part of Ash and Elena's Morbid Network. Morbid, like my favorite podcast. And he like knows them. It's crazy. It's crazy. Go check out his Instagram. I will link it, obviously, or link it and also put it on the screen. But it's hypocrite.inc. Check it out. It's really cool. This was like a while ago, but I bought a sweater from him. Wait, hold on. Look at how cool this is. Wait, there it is. Look at how spooky and creepy and weird it is. Ooh. It's so cool. She's just like a little witch in a forest. And honestly, that's how I feel every spooky season. It's so good. But check out their merch, check out their prints, check out their art, and check out their podcast because it's super cool. And I hope to one day be a guest star on his well more established podcast than mine. But we're coming on up, okay? We're making it. We're making it big one day, I swear. Hey, look, Ma, I made it, is what I'll be saying when we make it. No, but for real, we're already over 1,000 subs, which is amazing because I started this podcast and show in January of 2025. So thank you so much for subscribing and coming back to watch the episodes. I appreciate you so much. And thank you. Honestly, this show would not be nearly as fun to do, not nearly as I wouldn't be looking nearly as forward to it as I do now that I have people to talk to. It's not just like me, even though, let's be real, I could probably talk to a brick wall. Anyway, this week's episode is the much awaited Mothman episode. Ooh, we're getting into cryptids today, specifically Mothman. And if you don't know what Mothman is, let's dive on in. I feel like I think I mentioned this at the end of last episode about the Appalachian whistles that I found out about Mothman through BuzzFeed Unsolved, which is a fantastic show. I think they went to where the lore of the Mothman kind of lives on. And I'm pretty sure they have merch and stuff there, stores that, I don't know, the area in which it originated, I'm pretty sure really went in, leaned into the whole Mothman of it all, which is great. Good for them. That's honestly awesome. Without further ado, my script. This week's episode was written by Joe Dell. Yay! So let's get into this week's episode. Mothman. Aside from a naming convention, what do Batman and Mothman have in common? Both take to the skies at night and both strike fear into anyone who sees them. Ooh, I didn't even realize that Batman and Mothman have a similar nomenclature. While the Dark Knight dishes out vigilante justice in Gotham, Mothman has made quite an impact around Point Pleasant, West Virginia. West Virginia, born and raised. Nope, that's West Philadelphia. West Virginia, did I say New England? I feel like isn't that New England? Cool. Today, we're diving into what this urban legend is all about. Yay, let's get into it. The lore. The first sighting happened on November 12th, 1966. Ooh, the 60s. Two gravediggers in Clendidin. Say that 10 times really fast. Clendidin. Ooh, that counts. Bars? Clendidin, West Virginia, looked up from their work and spotted something massive soaring overhead, darting from tree to tree. Why is this the beginning of every classic monster movie? Yeah, great point, because what do you mean darting from tree to tree? And it's massive, so this thing is just shaking the trees as it's jumping from one tree to the other? That's borderline terrifying. That's the one thing that I knew about Mothman is that he's very big. He's the size of a man. He's a man-sized moth. Wild. Was this at night? I wonder, because moths, night. Maybe they had the lights, the headlamps, because moths are attracted to light. And so, I don't know, maybe he was like, hello? But he's so big that he can't be stealthy. Interesting. Despite their job, the grave diggers were shaken. Oh yeah, they were like, graves? All night long. A man-sized moth in here. Now we got a problem. Now I don't get paid enough for this. This is not part of my contract. I want out. Thank you. They later reported the creature as a huge brown-winged human. That'd be really hilarious if it was just a man in a costume. But we'll come to find out. I don't think these were the only people that saw this Mothman. 3 days later, in the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, 2 young couples fled the local woods, claiming they'd seen a terrifying winged creature. What they described to the sheriff sounded almost human, except it stood 6 or 7 feet tall, had a 10-foot wingspan, and glowing red eyes. Yes, I remember the glowing red eyes. That was a very important part. This is a very important part of the Mothman lore, is that he has very creepy red glowing eyes, and especially that glow at night. So sometimes you just see the red eyes. Ooh, I hate it, but I love it, but I hate it. That's 7 feet tall. Do you know how tall that is? That's like the tallest basketball player tall. Very tall. Too tall. Entirely too tall. Whenever I see 7-foot people, I'm like, couldn't you bring it down a notch? You're just all the way up there. Like, I feel like I have to shout to talk to you. So tall people, bring it down a notch, will you? God. They also said it could fly absurdly fast, up to 100 miles per hour. What a claim. And had chased them out of the woods before disappearing into a field. Ooh. Oh, wow. For it to be that big and that tall, but that weightless, for it to fly that fast, that's insane. Like, you would just see a blur kind of jumping from tree to tree, or just like following you around or chasing you out of the woods, I guess, in their scenario. 3 days later, the Gettysburg Times reported 8 new sightings, including 2 volunteer firefighters who said they saw a large bird with glowing red eyes. See, this is the weird part about Mothman, is like, if it was like just 1 or 2 people, like with the whole Polybius conspiracy thing, it was like one person or like maybe a couple of people claiming that like, yeah, I swear that there was like an unmarked black box in the like arcade in Portland. But this is like multiple people. We already had 2 grave diggers, 2 young couples, and then 8 new sightings on top of that. If my math checks, that's 12, right? Nope, 2 couples is 4, 6 plus. This is why I didn't go into a math. I'm not a woman in STEM. I love women in STEM, and I appreciate them. I think they're amazing. I cannot be a woman in STEM because I'm terrible at math. 14, right? I hope. Yeah, let's call it 14. Yeah, I think it is. Including, 2 volunteer firefighters. Oh, volunteer firefighters. I was like, they were firefighters. They were like people of the law, but if they're volunteer. Do they have the same credentials as firefighters? What's a volunteer firefighter? Anyway, they saw a very large bird with glowing red eyes. And how many birds do you know that have glowing red eyes? Because I don't know any, I don't think. Yeah, not glowing. A local man in Salem. Ooh, Salem, Massachusetts. Not Salem, Oregon. Salem, Massachusetts. A local man in Salem said strange patterns appeared on his TV before he heard eerie noises outside. When he shined a flashlight into the dark, he saw 2 glowing red eyes looking back at him like reflectors. In a favorable semicircle, anyone? Ooh, what? Why? Oh, because his random strange patterns appeared on his TV? Yeah. The patterns could have been the same ones that could be found on the Unfavorable Semicircle YouTube channel, which is also an episode that we did. Ooh, great callback, Jodelle. Nice. Took me a second. Yeah, whenever, and this is like in the 60s, so like it's all creepy old TV static. I don't know. There's just something so eerie about that. But I love it. Within days, the entire town was out in force, armed and ready to hunt it down. It's giving Gaston and Beauty and the Beast. Ooh, yeah. Because, like, what if he's just out here, like, he's clearly driving people out of the woods, which is, like, his home. So he's probably just like, hey, guys, maybe don't, like, come into my house and, like, litter and whatever else y'all are doing. You know what I mean? It's like if someone just walked into your house, wouldn't you also be like, excuse me, goodbye? I didn't invite you. They didn't find the creature, but the legend took off. Well, yeah, I mean, you got a bunch of the entire town coming out in like pitchforks being like, let's get him! And then the poor Mothman, aw. I just picture people with like pitchforks and like fire, what's the fire thing? Torch. I literally looked up fire on stick because I forgot what a torch was called. Good. This is good. Torches just like being like, come out, Mothman. And Mothman just being like, get out of my house. I'm trying to sleep. Or maybe he's awake during the nighttime. I don't know. I feel like all of these must have taken place at night. But I feel like people saw him at all hours of the day. Maybe they were being too loud. He was trying to sleep. Fast forward to December 1967. Locals claimed they saw Mothman flying over or perched on the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio. I vaguely remember there being a bridge in BuzzFeed Unsolved's rendition of the Mothman, or their episode. So yeah, there's just a lot of different people that claim that they saw Mothman flying over or perched on. Ew, like I just like picture him like being perched like a vulture. I don't know. But also not ew, because maybe he's just misunderstood. Shortly after the sighting, the 1,460-foot bridge collapsed into the river, taking with it 32 vehicles and 46 lives. 2 victims were never found. Ooh, what? Did he like make it collapse somehow? That's not good. An investigation later found that the collapse was caused by a fracture in one of the suspension chains brought on by stress and corrosion fatigue. Because of the materials used to build the bridge, these issues weren't expected in that kind of rural environment, and the damage was so hidden that it couldn't have been detected without completely taking the bridge apart. What? So like, did he put a lot of strain or stress on this one piece of the bridge specifically? Like, did Mothman mean to do it? We should ask him. We should interview Mothman. This incident would mark the last time the Mothman would be sighted in Point Pleasant. Oh, he probably was like, I just wanted to get a good look and like let you guys know, like, please don't come into my house anymore. It's really creepy. You guys just keep showing up, and I'm not trying to like cause harm to anyone. So just like maybe knock when you want to come into my home, which is the woods. And then just because he wanted to get a good like look at everyone from the bridge, and he's so big, he's like 7 feet tall, and he happened to perch on one part of the bridge that made it not so sturdy. Yikes. I don't know. I like to give Mothman the benefit of the doubt, okay? Especially since you said, like, Beauty and the Beast. Like, if the townspeople were like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, then I don't like it. But that was the last time Mothman would be seen in Point Pleasant. Sightings would continue moving onward, slowly spreading to other parts of the United States. Oh, I didn't know that. And eventually making it to international shores, even reaching Russia at one point, with people having claimed to see it appear before earthquakes, tsunamis, and even the 9/11 terrorist attacks. What? 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 Is he the bringer of bad news? Did people think that because he was like perched on the bridge that he was warning people that the bridge would collapse? Or maybe like he thought like, okay, well, if people fear me, maybe they'll like get off this bridge because I'm on it. But then they didn't. That's crazy. Whoa. Huh. Maybe he's trying to warn people. I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt, okay? Let's get into the theories. So what is the Mothman? Well, here's a scientific explanation. Women in STEM, we love it. Dr. Robert Smith, Associate Professor of Wildlife in West Virginia University, thinks it's probably a big-ass bird. Okay. Rather than a flying monster, he attributed the sightings to a large sandhill crane, which stands as tall as a man and has bright red skin under its eyes. Ooh, see, so I'll put the photo on the screen, but there it is. And I, of course, printed it in black and white because it's cheaper to print in black and white. But you'll see, I think that makes sense. But it also doesn't look like a moth. And they never said he has a beak, did he? I don't know. Did they? The people that saw him? Or them? I don't know. I don't know what Mothman's pronouns are. Maybe it's they, them. I feel like that makes most sense. Some people took this explanation and ran with it, stating that the crane must have been a mutant monster crane, potentially created by exposure to toxic chemicals. That's sad. But also just like, I feel like the fact that Mothman does not have a beak and this crane has a pretty large beak is like, that seems like a pretty big discrepancy, right? Like a big inconsistency between people's sightings of Mothman and this crane. This isn't just superhero logic, though. The area the Mothman was first sighted was known as the TNT area because during World War II, it used to be full of factories that were used to produce explosives. Ooh, what? After the war, the factories were abandoned and the area grew over, despite the fact that TNT was reportedly still being stored on site and contaminating the local environment. So a radioactive crane monster isn't completely far-fetched. Wow, would you look at that? I guess it's possible. But again, I'm still all about like why cranes have beaks and birds have beaks and moths don't have beaks. And so why was he called Mothman? Explain that. Why was he called Mothman? Huh? Another theory, it all started as a prank. Well, that really went as a prank that went down in legend. Go down in history. A prank that went down in history as legend. See, words are starting to come back to me now. But once the press picked it up, people believed it and more sightings followed. Ooh, very War of the Worlds coded. Like people believed the prank as real? Huh. It's worth noting that the Mothman's physical appearance resembles several types of demons encountered during sleep paralysis. Oh, another phenomenon. Ooh. Perhaps the sightings were collections of mortal fears coming to life, ushering a shared psychosis through the town. So, what is Mothman? A monster, a misunderstood animal, or something else? Well, I'm just curious why moth? Like what about him resembles moth? Because like when you see renditions of Mothman, it does look like a big furry moth. And like, I love moths. I got a moth tattoo right there. See? Look at it. This camera's so strange, I don't know which way to go. There it is. I feel like I'm showing off my bicep. I'm strong, man. I don't know, moths are pretty. They're not scary. I don't think they're scary. I actually like held a moth. When we were in Italy, we went to like this butterfly sanctuary, but I guess it was kind of more like a moth sanctuary because there were like big ass moths there. And I like held one on my finger and then it crawled up to this moth on my arm and it was like, hi friend. I'll post a picture of that too. It's cool. It was cool. Basically, I'm a moth whisperer. So I speak for the Mothman and he says, brrr. That's what he said. Don't shoot the messenger. That's how he talks. Some say he's a harbinger of doom. See, yeah, that's what I said, appearing before disasters as an omen. Well, that's not what I said. That's what you said, Jadelle. And then I said it again. So you said it first because it was written in the script. I agree with that in that, like, the harbinger of doom. Because, like, the harbinger of doom, if you think about it, what if he was trying to, like, warn people? Like, hey, something bad's about to happen. You guys should, like, totally get out of here. You know what I mean? But, like, maybe he doesn't speak English or any other language that can be understood by humans. So just him being there and like being all spooky, they thought it would be enough to like get people to leave the sites that the Mothman felt were dangerous, but then they didn't. And then that's not on them. They tried. Others believe he's trying to warn us, maybe even save us. Yes, that part. I like it. Yes, he's trying to save us. Oh, thanks, Mothman. That's so nice. Could Mothman be an angel? Ooh, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I mean, the wings, you know? I like the idea that Mothman is just like trying to like warn people because it's like he appears somewhere before something bad's gonna happen. So it's like he's like flying around all over the world being like, yo, like maybe he's got like instead of spidey senses, mothy senses, right? Interesting. I'm surprised DC or the Avengers haven't poached him yet. They should recruit him. And then there should be, would it be like Spider-Man's sidekick? Or would they be arch nemesis because spiders and moths? Do spiders eat moths? I don't know. The moths I saw were like really big. So the spider would have to be really big. It would have to be like a tarantula. And then I don't mess with tarantulas. I don't even know. I started talking about that, but I like moths, okay? Mothman is an angel. I like it. Whatever you believe, Mothman is more than a campfire tale in Point Pleasant. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people know about Mothman. In me and Carly's cross promo episode on their show called Big Gay Coffee Talk, they're saying like, oh my God, let me know when you do Mothman. And so here it is, Carly, Mothman, yay! I feel like a lot of people know about Mothman. It's definitely an urban legend that's made it to the zeitgeist. It's more than just a campfire tale out of Point Pleasant. The town has embraced him with themed stores, food, and a museum. And most famously, an annual Mothman festival that draws over 10,000 visitors. Reminder, the town's population in 2019 was just over 4,000. Wow, okay, whoa. That's probably like helping the economy a lot. I would love to go. Ooh, Phenomator. That sounds like Optimus Prime, Phenomator. That would be really fun to go. Check it out because I want to see the Mothman Festival and I want to buy like a little Mothman keychain or something, or like a plushie. That's so cute. Because if you think about it, if you think he's like a good person, a good Mothman who is trying to warn people, then he's kind of like an idol. He might be my idol. I don't know. They might be my idol. From terror to tourist attraction, myth to mascot, Mothman is without question iconic. Yes, I love it. We love to see it. Yes, Mothman got an amazing PR team and was like, nah, you know what? Turn this around. We are now going to become the most iconic thing to come out of Point Pleasant. And they did it. They did it, baby. If Mothman can do it, we can, okay? Mothman prevails, then we can prevail. Yay! That was a really good episode. I loved that. I got to learn a little bit more about Mothman because I don't remember all of the like lore and the background from like where it stemmed from and how many people saw them. Dang it. I just established that their pronouns are probably they, them, and I just keep saying him because it's the Mothman. That's what's messing me up. Such a good episode. Let me know if you knew about Mothman prior to this episode or if you learned something new. Let me know. Poke Pick. Ooh, this week's Poke Pick is Yvelta. I don't think I know that. Do I know this Pokemon? Yvelta? I gotta check this out. Maybe I do. I feel like I'm a very visual person, so I need to like remember what Yvelta looked like. Pokedex entry. When this legendary Pokemon's wings and tail feathers spread wide and glow red, it absorbs the life force of living creatures. Ooh, we gotta check that. I'm so excited to see a photo of Yvelta. This is cool. And yeah, it glows red. Very Mothman coated with glowing eyes. I love it. What a great Poke Pick, Jodelle. Yay! Amazing. So fun. Also, our Patreon is starting to look like a little like, there's a collection of all our Poke Picks throughout the episodes. And so it's starting to look like a little Pokemon, like a Pokemon home dashboard or You know Pokemon Home where you can like store Pokemon? It's like a Pokemon storage. It's very cute. I like it. You best believe we're going to be adding Yvelta to that Poke storage on Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, we have several ways that you can contact us, one of which being Patreon, of course, that is connected to our Discord. You have to join the Patreon even as a free member to get access to the Discourse. Discord? Oops, I didn't even realize it's a Discourse. I always said Discourse. It's fine. It's Discourse now, okay? Discord. It is a pinned comment at the top of the Patreon, so check it out. But if you feel like you want to donate any amount of money or like help support the channel, we have a $2 tier and a $5 tier. But then we also have the free dollar tier, free 99. Check out our Patreon, and it's linked in the YouTube homepage. And then also email us at phenomena.cases@gmail.com. We do a Phenomena episode at the end of every season. Speaking of which, we are nearing the end of season 2, so we will definitely be doing a Phenomena episode. I've been getting a lot of really good stories emailed to me, which is very exciting. So if you think of any story, or better yet, if you have any experiences, like personal experiences with any of the phenomena that we talk about on the show, Mothman, hello. If you're Mothman, you should definitely email the show at phenomena.cases@gmail.com. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. New episodes come out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. And next time on Phenomena, we're going to be talking about Stonehenge. Ooh, that's a good one. I forgot that I curated the topic list. Sometimes, yeah, it's always like a surprise. I'm like, oh yeah, I did put Stonehenge on the list. But that's a good one because I don't know I know what the Stonehenge is, but I don't know the theories behind it. But I feel like it's going to be alien-y, right? Whenever I think of Stonehenge, I think of crop circles, or it's very similar in that no one knows how the Stonehenge, isn't it not physically, doesn't it not make sense how it's balancing? It couldn't have been a natural occurrence the way that it's balancing. I don't know. Tune into next week's episode to find out more, because I will also be learning more about the Stonehenge. Yay! And remember, you can always explore the rabbit hole without falling all the way down. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.